We've got $25 here from Ace Burrito. They say, hey, chat, it's between runs, so don't forget to stretch, hydrate, have a snack, and take your meds if you have them. Take some time for self-care. Less than 3. Also, posture check. So that one got me for sure. So grab that snack, grab that try, but make it quick because we are ready to take it away with Aria of Sorrow from JupiterClimb and Chewy4u.
Awesome. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aria race. My name's Halgorithm. I'm a router and speedrunner for this game, and I'll be commentating today with my friend Berix.
Hi, I'm Berix. I play the randomizer and also run Julius mode, which I think we'll be seeing later.
Oh yeah, that's going to be really exciting. Our runners, JupiterClimb and Chewy4u, will be racing the any % no 0 HP category, which is essentially Aria of Sorrow's main any % category, just with some of the more major glitches banned. Both Jupiter and Chewy have been trading the world record for this category between each other frequently over the past few months, with Jupiter currently holding it as of only a week ago. So this should be a really exciting race to watch. There are also several route updates from 2022 to talk about, so we'll be sure to talk about them as they happen throughout the race. So without further ado, I think we're about ready to start the race. I'll go ahead and start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Good luck, runners.
All right, so right off the bat, we're going to have a frame-perfect RNG manipulation. This is to get the Bastard weapon. We have to kill the zombie on a specific frame. This is, again, frame-perfect, very hard, and there's little visual cue. Looks like
Jupiter got it, yeah.
Did get it first try. It's about a 15 seconds time loss, but that's not a big deal because you can easily make that up throughout the rest of the run.
Yeah, so this run is all about RNG manipulations. Essentially, everything that drops in the game, whether it's a soul or a weapon or something else, is dependent on a single RNG value that everything shares. And every time you load the game, so they're going to save the game right here. That unlocks the suspend function. And they're going to use that so that they can reload the game on a future screen. And every time they reload the game, it resets that RNG value. So they can essentially control the RNG value just by resetting and then doing very specific movements. So first thing they're going to do here is the creaking skull manip. This manip's been around for a while, but there's a new way of doing it that's I discovered in 2022. So they're going to do 2 backdashes, hit that axe armor, another 3 backdashes, throw a spear, and then a bunch of knife hits. This should force the creaking skull to drop his blue soul right here. Nice. So Jupiter did it perfectly. Chewy4u getting that Bastard, nice. That's just, like we said, that's a frame perfect, so that's really hard to get. Nice to get out of that. And now that Jupiter has Creaking Skull, this is basically a soul that does a ton of damage, has huge range. We're going to be using on like pretty much every boss except for one going forward.
Yeah. We also got the Backdash Gravekeeper soul. I just saw it on Chewy's side. Backdash movement is the main form of movement. It's very fast at the startup, and then we can cancel the end lag with the jump. So we're going to be seeing that throughout the run. And the Flying Armor Blue Soul, another blue soul. You can only equip one at a time, so we're going to see some menuing between the Flying Armor, Creaking Skull, and the later soul. Flying Armor is needed for one precise jump, but it also is going to see some use at other jumps throughout the run.
Yeah. So as the runners are making their way to a zip coming up here, they're just killing specific enemies to try to get their EXP value high enough so that when they kill the next boss, they level up twice instead of once, saving about a second and a half. We have time for a quick donation here as they're approaching the zip.
Yeah, I've got a quick donation here from a little person named Fangamer. They donate $5,000.
Oh my
and they
God,
say, "Hey
my
everybody,
God.
Fangamer here. We were whipping torches and this big bag of money came out of one, so we're sending it your way. What a wonderful day to have a donation. This is made possible by folks shopping the Fangamer AGDQ 2023 collection, where 100% of the profit from the sales of GDQ merch through the end of the event goes on to support Prevent Cancer Foundation. The full lineup is available at fangamer.com/GDQ. Thank you so much for that generous donation and for everyone who's buying their merch.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's insane. So what we just saw there on Jupiter's side was the Cataplepas zip. Zips are going to be a very big glitch in this run. Basically, it's just taking a glitched room transition that sends you somewhere unintended. This one, the Cataplepas pushes you out of bounds, and now we're at the Manticore fight.
Yeah, in this Manticore fight, we're doing another RNG manip. He slept in the screen before. Very specific knife hits and Creaking Skull hits to... Oh, yeah, so we have a safety save for this situation. He's going to do the Cataplepas zip again. Unfortunately, there's no way to reset that zip, and it just loses so much time to retry it. In an actual run situation, this would be this category is very reset heavy. We've done our best to kind of adapt it for GDQ to add in as much safety saves and stuff as we can. But so he's going to be retrying this particular Manticore manip, giving Chewy a chance to catch up here after those Baslard manip resets.
Yeah. Sadly, you can't sleep inside a boss room, so your last chance to save it is before entering.
Yeah, if we could, we definitely would. Nice, so there it is. So he's going to get the Manticore Soul right here. Also a blue soul. You can't use it at the same time as Creaking Skull. But basically the soul is you hold down the R button, you transform into this huge red demon that just rushes forward, going super fast and doing a ton of damage. We mainly use it for its mobility in this run, but there is the next boss that we fight, we will actually be using it for that boss fight.
And we also saw Chewy get it first try.
Yeah, nice.
Now entering the study, we're going to see some of that Manticore movement. This is a pretty interesting area movement-wise, just because there's a lot of enemies in the way, as well as the candles. You can get the MP you need for Manticore. But regarding that, there's also an enemy, the Ectoplasm, which if you run into it, it curses you, and that drains your MP very quickly. So the runners will need to avoid the Ectoplasms in this room while still getting up ready to Manticore.
Nice. Yep, that's perfect. Gonna dry that all the way to the end of the room. Coming up next, we have the Great Armor fight. There's also a new strategy for this fight as of 2022, also discovered by me. Basically, it's not so much, it's about a half second faster, but the main thing it helps with is this fight is very RNG dependent. There's like 3 different opening attacks that Great Armor can do, and you have to react differently to each of them. So there's still going to be RNG in the fight. If they do it correctly, it should be over in like a second, or about 2 seconds, but it can easily go off the rails. Let's see how it goes. Nice, we got the 2 knife hits, got some Manticore. That's a good pattern, that should do it. Ooh, barely got it with the Manticore, very nice. That's pretty much a perfect Great Armor from JupiterClimb there.
Now we're here to get the Malphus Grey Soul. It's needed for one very important room in the run. If we could find a way to skip that, we would be able to skip this entire study area. But now that we have Malphus, we're going to be making our way back out of study and then up through Chapel. Just a bit of backtracking as we head to our next zip location, which is going to take us very far into the game. So now would be a perfect time for a couple donations.
Yeah, you've got it. We've got a lot of love coming in here. We've got $50 from Goro Majima, who says, not even Alucard can beat Dangerous's flowing hair. I think that's true. I think that's a fact. We've got a $5 donation from Anonymous that says, what is a Belmont's favorite breakfast? A croissant. Ooh. I like that one. I like that one, though I did.
That's it's a guilty pleasure, that donation. Thank you for that. We still got time for some more, so keep going.
Yeah, okay. You said you like puns. Here we go. We got $25 from Aaron, who said, oh boy, who says, how did Alucard break up with his girlfriend? It's not Dracula, it's Dracmila.
Oh, God. Why?
Oh, God.
Okay, I think we got time for one more.
Okay, sure. We've got $200 from Mexican Detective, who says, I never miss the CV block. Good luck to all the runners, and thank you for the great cause. Thank you so much for that generous donation. Really appreciate it.
Nice. Yeah, thank you everybody so much. Really appreciate it. As the runners headed back up through Chapel, they're just making use of that Creaking Skull to be able to backdash forward while still having an active hitbox in front of them to just smack all the enemies in their way. They can lose some time if they get random soul drops that they don't need. I don't think any of these enemies actually need their souls for, but this helps. This section's surprisingly tricky with the movement. This actually coming up through the Chapel is also new in 2022. The runners used to go back to Castle Corridor and then do a zip in the Floating Gardens, but we're actually gonna head up here into the Belfry and perform the Manticore zip. So the Manticore, it's a special kind of zip that's exclusive to the Manticore. You basically transform, you clip into the ceiling, and you zip out of the wall. By taking this route, we're able to get this high mind up here. That's going to be useful because there's parts later in the run where we need MP. So there's the zip right there. We also get a pudding as we teleport here into Underground Reservoir, a very late area in the game. Normally you'd have to do a lot of detouring throughout the castle to get Undine and Skula souls to let you traverse water areas to even be able to get here at all. But by clipping out there and taking that glitch screen transition, we've now skipped a huge chunk of the game, and we're going to be heading into the arena, one of the hardest areas in the game, and this whole section could be really dicey.
Yeah, we grab that safety healing almost entirely for this area and the final boss. This next room that we're going to see Jupiter enter into, there's a bit of RNG with the Great Armor, but specifically these gargoyle flying enemies are very sensitive to how someone moves. And there's 5 of them in this room combined with other enemies. They each hit very hard because we only have copper armor equipped. This is very clean.
Yeah, that was pretty much
2
perfect.
hits? That was amazing.
Wow. Perfect.
And now we're just going to be able to grab another safety save and head into some more manips in just a couple rooms.
He's got plenty of health to tank this gladiator here. Going to transform into Manticore to just skip through this room. And now we're doing the lubricant manip. This is a double manip, so we're actually going to be getting 2 things we need from this manip. We're going to be getting the yellow lubricant soul, which is a risk reward soul. He's going to take that hit on the killer mantle is intentional. I'll explain why in a second. The lubricant soul is a risk reward soul. The lower your health, the more damage you do. So he's kind of preemptively taking damage to get this health value down. The second, so here you're going to see that lubricant soul right here. Yep. The second lubricant here he's going to kill will drop the Muramasa, which is the strongest katana type weapon in the game. Katanas, they are short range, it's kind of stubby hitbox, but they auto cancel every time you swing and you land, and they multi-hit. So every swing you do can hit up to 3 times. So coming into the lore here, they're basically going to be trying to exploit that as much as they can.
Yeah. On Chewy's side, we saw a very bad gargoyle room. Those gargoyles did not want to let him through, so he had to use both of his safety heals. Now Jupiter, you're going to be taking an extra hit from the Balor hand here, get his HP just a bit lower. And you also see him weaving back and forth with that katana. You can normally hit double hits, but if you can just manipulate the hitbox quite right, you can get that nice triple hit. This boss is very dangerous. Normally, if we were going for records, we'd be about as close to 1 HP as possible. I mean, it does do like 130 damage a hit, so anything between there and 1 doesn't matter, but we want to be a bit safer here. And Chewy also got a good lubricant manip headed into the boss fight, just a bit behind Jupiter.
Yeah, it was a really close race. Honestly, both runners are doing excellent showing here. So Jupiter just killed Balor. He's saving a little MP for a spear throw to break the giant bat canister. Giant bat is the most broken soul in the game. We basically have just already beat the game now that we have this soul. Normally you would use this to fly around the castle, get into little nooks and crannies, get access to new areas you haven't been before. We're going to use it for a little bit more than that. We actually are going to use this to zip into pretty much any wall in the game that you want. Every wall in the game goes to a different, somewhat random part of the castle, but it is consistent. So the first place we're going to zip is 2 screens up from here. We're going to zip into top floor, one of the last areas of the game. We just got to, right here, see how he does it? Okay, there's 2 parts to this. It's very kind of tricky. Nice, he gets it. You have to get in the wall, then you have to get out of the wall to actually do the zip. And both are nearly frame perfect. We're not actually doing anything in top floor. We're just stopping by to do another zip this time. So let's see if he gets it. Nice, he got it. That'll work. So he's now in Forbidden Area. This screen has the Claim Solace. That's not how you pronounce it, but that's what the community says. So I don't honestly remember how you say it. But this thing is busted. It does so much damage. It's arguably the best weapon in the game. It boosts all your stats a ton. Huge hitbox, auto cancels on hit, and it's Holy Element to top it off, which many things this game are weak to.
And at the time it took you to explain that sword, we're already in the final area in the game.
That's crazy.
Just 1 zip away from the final boss for Jupiter and Chewy. Good zips to top floor. So hopefully it gets grabbing that super potion for just extra melee.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Onto the Chaos boss fight, there's 2 phases. This first phase, Soma's souls get stolen by the statues, so he doesn't have that lubricant boost to start with, but Claim's so large you can double hit them, and their defense is set to 0, so it goes down very fast. The attacks from the blue and red statues don't really matter except for damage boosting, but that yellow statue sends out a reticle which will steal your mana, and we need that mana for the Chaos 2 strategy. Speaking of Chaos 2, since we're about to get there, and good zips from Chewy. Chaos 2, the core is what we need to kill. It's in the center, and time will be when that shatters, by the way. The core has too much defense, so we need to lower that defense by attacking the 4 eyes around the arena. We can take down 2 on the left side using Creaking Skull and Claim, and then attack the core and the bottom right eye at the same time for some very fast damage. However, this is the most dangerous fight in the entire game. That Bone Dragon is complete RNG. The center fires out thorns. Ooh.
Okay. Jupiter doing some crazy dodging here, trying to avoid that giant orb that will kill him at his current HP. He cannot afford to take that hit. Snake get in the way again, but thankfully doesn't bonk him.
Yeah, thankfully, Claim has a large enough hitbox that it can knock away the smaller orbs before they can target in on Soma. And again, time is going to be when this center shatters.
Yeah, all things considered, Snake is cooperating a lot. So time... The Snake doesn't want it to happen.
Snake says no.
Nice
time for Jupiter. And Chewy just entering, just barely like half a minute behind.
Yep,
Gonna
right
have to do the
behind
same
him.
thing.
So yeah, this creaking skull approach is actually also new in 2022. We used to use the Manticore for this fight, but it turns out the creaking skull is just, it's huge hitbox, and it's actually kind of crazy damage for how little MP it uses. Makes it do more damage over the course of the fight than Manticore did. So yeah, that was, does anyone have what the time was for that run? I don't have it open, but that looked like a super clean run on Jupiter's side.
Yeah, and time for Chewy is going to be coming up soon as well, assuming the snake is nice.
Jupiter's side was 13:24.
13:24 for Jupiter. That's a really good run. That's like, for this route, that's incredible. So really, really nice job. And Chewy finishing up as well.
Very clean fight as well.
Right behind him, very clean. Super, super awesome performance there.
Considering just how reset heavy and incredibly intensive this run is, getting two very close and basically sub 14 runs for both of them.
Yeah, that's
Very
awesome.
impressive.
Thank you so much, guys. So yeah, huge congrats, Jupiter, for the win. Thank you so much, both Jupiter and Chewy, for the race. You guys did a great job showing off this category for everyone today. Thank you so much. For everybody watching, really hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as we loved commentating it. Just like to say, Aria speedrunning and the broader Castlevania scene in general has been super active and exciting this entire past year. There's been a ton of new strats found in all the GBA Castlevania games, with lots of runners joining the community. If you have any interest in what you saw here today and you're thinking about running Aria yourself, or just want to come and chat with us, we got a link to our speedrunning Discord server on our leaderboard over at speedrun.com/AOS. The randomizer for this game is also a ton of fun, and we do lots of races of that as well. So yeah.
So shout outs to everyone who's been running this game. Shout outs to Garney, who was going to be commentating but couldn't quite make it.
Yeah.
Other runners, Brooke's been a huge influence. I know there's been some recent Julius runs. And also, I think I might be mistaken here, but I think we also just hit 360K.
Oh, no way. That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you all so much for those donations.
Amazing.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it for us for today. Really. Yeah, so there's a Julius any % run coming up right after this. Julius is the alternate character you can unlock and play as in Aria of Sorrow. Berix knows all about it.
Yeah, if you thought this run was fast, about 13 minutes, the world record for Julius any % is 5 minutes and 1 second, I believe. Yep. So it's going to be very fast from JupiterClimb, but we won't be here for that. You'll get to listen to his bullshit tones.
Yep. So, thank you all for having us. Really appreciate it to show this off at a GQ event. Thanks everyone for watching, and stick around for that Julius any % run. I hope you all have a great rest of the day.
What an amazing close run that was. So much fun to watch that. Thank you so much to Chewy4u and JupiterClimb for showing all of that off. We had a lot of love coming in during that. We had a $50 donation from M. Logan, who says, I lost both my parents to cancer over the course of 2 years, so PCF is a cause I have quite a bit of personal investment in. Castlevania is quite possibly my favorite game series, and Aria is my favorite entry in the catalog. I can think of no better time to make this donation. M. Logan, thank you so much for your donation. My condolences for your loss. Thank you so much for supporting PCF. What a great cause. And we had $15 from Bars Mitzvah. They say, hey, Jupiter, Aria is my favorite Castlevania, and I love all your crazy runs you do. Keep it up and good luck on the race. Well, that good luck seemed to come through because they took it away. And then we had a lot of love for the flowing hair interview, including this poem from an Onyx Mouse. They give $50 and say, the battle between Keys and Dangerous, their magnificent hair flowing fabulous. Who had better locks? They both totally rock. I must have decision paralysis. Thank you so much. All right, and I've got word that we are ready for that incentive, that Aria of Sorrow bonus Julius any % run, so take it away.
Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much for donating for this Julius any % incentive. I think it's time for some Ule. The run is going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Julius mode. This is the requisite extra character in a Metroidvania game. I think this mode is really good. Julius mode in Dawn of Sorrow gets all the credit, and this mode is more straightforward. But Julius has got such great movement, it's so much fun to play. As you've probably noticed by now, the main form of movement is dive kick, aka the ule. Now, Julius does not get level ups in a traditional way. Instead, if you want to get your stats higher, every time you defeat a boss and grab the orb, you'll get an all-around stat boost. Now, because I have high jump, I could go fight Graham right now, who is the final boss of the game here. But, believe me when I say that fight takes like 20 minutes at level 1. So the real question becomes, how many bosses is it optimal to kill for any percent? The answer turns out to be 3, but we can do better. We can do it in 2, using a pretty fancy glitch coming up. First, though, I gotta go over here, grab a warp. This one's right by top floor, so pretty handy for later. Now this part of the run, it's a very short run, but this is definitely the scariest moment. I've got to get 2 tricks in a row. I cannot back up either one. If there is a mistake, I'll have to load an earlier save. But let's see how it goes. Like in that Aria race you saw earlier, we're gonna zip using the cow over here. But it's tougher with Julius. Timing's a bit more precise. Nice first try. This part, you gotta just pray it works. There is no truly consistent setup. I'm gonna take it as safe as I possibly can. Hang on. Even safer. Where is that tiny devil? I'm going for it. Okay, nice. Ooh, close call. Here's part 2. Gotta go for a double kill here. That's it, I think. Let's see. Fantastic, okay. So what happened there, when you kill Manticore by attacking its body and its tail at the same time on the final hit, you'll get 2 orbs that spawn on top of each other, and that gives Julius 2 level ups. So I've only killed 2 bosses, Creaking Skull and Manticore, but the game thinks I've killed 3, which is gonna help a ton for Graham here. Now this boss is kind of a pushover for Soma, but for Julius, this is kind of the most important split in the speedrun. Now I love top floor, I think this has got some good movement. Let's see how this section goes. Bad pattern, it's fine. I think I'll probably heal here, but to tell you the truth, the estimate I have, nice succubus jump, does not allow for a reset on Graham. So I gotta get this thing in 1 shot. No need to save. Sub-weapon of choice here is gonna be the axe. This is the most MP efficient option we have. This is a long fight, so that's important. Ideally, I can get 2 axes and some whip hits in every time Graham teleports. So far, so good. Almost done phase 2. There it is, okay. This phase is all about precise mid-jumps, and you throw in an axe when you're close. Okay, this is the scariest part of the fight. Phase 3. What you can do is dangle your whip in the air and get another jump with the whip. The timing is important because you want to cut this as close as possible. Careful, careful. I can afford a few hits here to speed things along. All right, Berix, that was for you. That's some new school tech. You high jump into the chandelier, and you get some iframes for it. That's it, time. Pretty good run, actually. Not too bad. If you're really good and you really optimize this, you can beat the game with Julius in almost 5 minutes. It's crazy how quick it goes. Well, thank you all so much for watching the Castlevania block today. And thank you, GDQ, for hosting us and allowing us to show off these classic games in 2023.
Thank you so much, JupiterClimb. Get some love in chat for him. Thank you for showing off that lightning fast showcase. That was fantastic. Just closing out the Castlevania block here, we do have a nice donation that's for $25 from Willy Willy that says, "It's a wonderful day to make a donation." They say, also for anyone just joining, don't forget to use your Prime subs. It's free real estate. It is. Use those Prime subs. Get in here. Come chat with us. Come use those emotes. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AGDQ 2023 Online. How are we feeling? Coming out of that Castlevania block, that was just fantastic to see. I love watching those races, just so many zips and fun kills. You love to see it. You might have heard during that Aria of Sorrow run that we had hit $360,000. I was so hyped for that. I was going to shout it out and everything. And then I blinked, and then we were at $370,000. You might be, what could have happened there? I'll tell you what happened. A $10,000 donation from the Yeti came in. They say, hey, y'all, Yeti here. We're so excited for another glorious day of speedrunning. Our donations are made possible by all of you who have picked up items from our official AGDQ 2023 collection. Make sure you head over to theyeti.com and grab your own AGDQ 2023 items before the end of the event and support the Prevent Cancer Foundation in their amazing work. Thank you so much for that amazing donation, the Yeti. Thank you to everybody who's buying their merchandise. I'm going to be making sure I stop by after this and picking up my annual purchase. You've got to get all their cool stuff. So many great designs all the time. Speaking of Prevent Cancer Foundation, just a little bit about them. The Prevent Cancer Foundation, founded in 1985, is a U.S.-based nonprofit organization. Their mission is to save lives across all populations through cancer prevention and early detection by focusing their work through research, education, outreach, and advocacy. Their vision is to stop cancer before it starts. You can find out more information about PCF at preventcancer.org. We are now going to take you over to Jhobz interviewing Kass about Transistor.
Welcome back to AGDQ 2023 Online, folks. That is right. I'm Jhobz, and I'm joined by Kass, who's going to be running Transistor in just a little bit here. Kass, thank you so much for joining me, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, Jhobz.
So first of all, are you nervous? Are you excited? It's coming up soon. How are you feeling about the run?
I am terrified. So, I mean, it's going to go fine, and I know it's going to go fine, but it's just those sort of pre-run jitters that happen. I was worse yesterday. Let's put it that way. I was worse yesterday, considering it's just gone 5 a.m. for me as I'm in Australia. I don't think I've really had time to get nervous yet, so we'll see how it goes between now and the start of the run.
Well, once you get going, that adrenaline's going to kick in. You're not going to even notice what time of day it is. It's you're going to be good to go.
The run's so fast. There's no time. There's no time for nerves. The run's too fast.
Exactly. You just got to keep moving. So let's talk a little bit about it. Transistor. For anyone who isn't familiar, this is a game made by Supergiant Games, the creators of Hades and Bastion, and I think a super slept-on game. Like, this game, if you enjoy Hades, this game rocks. It has a very unique style of combining different weapons. What drew you to playing and running this game in the first place?
So I was already a fan of Bastion. I randomly picked up Bastion on my my PlayStation Vita when it was during a PlayStation Plus month one time.
Wow.
Played through that. That was all good. And then it wasn't until I actually saw Transistor at a Games Done Quick event. And saw the art style and heard the runner Vuligent gushing about it so much. I was like, I think I'm gonna get that. So yeah, I think I tuned out maybe like 5 minutes before the end of the run. Went and bought it and played through it the rest of that weekend. Whenever there wasn't streams that I was runs that I wanted to watch on, and it's been my favorite game ever since. So wow. It's and definitely a very slept on Supergiant title.
Oh yeah, I love it that GDQ has been going on long enough now that we can get these stories time and time again of people who have been inspired to get running or to even play a game for the first time based on seeing something like that. And now you're here, ready to play.
Now I'm here.
Your name up on the stage and everything. So Transistor is a game, like I alluded to, that has a lot of unique mechanics to it. And one of those mechanics involves the ability to play it as kind of this almost turn-based strategy game where you can kind of freeze time and plan your moves in advance, or in a full kind of real-time capacity. Now, traditional speedrunner in me would think, oh, well, then you're just never going to pause time. You're always going to be doing it in real time. Is that the case, or do you find yourself bouncing between those mechanics?
Pretty much. We only use turn for the final boss fight, and turn actually enables us to do quite a number of glitches and skips. So turn basically becomes a speed running tool rather than a combat tool. And it's interesting because we do generally, during the development of the game, they talked a lot about how they can make enemies hyper aggressive because of that ability to pause time and plan out your actions. But because, as you said, stopping time is slow, we don't do it in combat. So we just have to deal with hyper aggressive enemies in as efficient a way as possible. Luckily, we actually skip a majority of the fights. So we don't have to deal with that too much. But yeah, turn basically becomes a way for us to break the game wide open, which is it's not an easy thing to break this game, but we've managed it.
That's incredible. I'm super looking forward to that. So you said you played Bastion. You said you played Transistor. Have you been a fan of all the Supergiant games? Has that been the only series, like the only kind of games you've been running, or do you run a variety of different games?
No, I run a whole bunch of games. So Transistor is my main game, and I am the current world record holder with it. And one of my commentators, Sinner, is hot on my heels. So it's quite we may be a small community, but we are a very competitive one. But no, outside of Transistor, I run Portal, I run Octopath Traveler, Resident Evil 8, Control, Final Fantasy X. Basically, if it's a game I loved, I will try and learn the speedrun for it.
I was going to say all kinds of different games, not one that is like the other than that they are all very good games. So I think that is...
When I first started, the ongoing theme was that every game had a phenomenal soundtrack. So it just kind of became my thing that I play games that have great soundtracks, and you don't get to hear any of them because I'm so fast.
Yeah, and you're not lying. That Transistor's got such a great one. So to ask you briefly about it, the big news of the end of 2022, like that, nobody saw it coming. I think Hades 2 is real. What are your thoughts? Are you as excited as all the rest of us are?
I absolutely am. And that's coming from someone who's not normally a roguelike fan, but I am a Hades fan, and I am a Supergiant fan. So I was expecting a new Supergiant announcement. I had that on my bingo card. I was not expecting a sequel to Hades. This is going to be the first time they've made a sequel. Obviously, they went straight from Bastion to Transistor to Pyre into Hades. I was expecting a new IP, and honestly, I was a tiny bit disappointed that it wasn't a new IP. Then I remembered I sunk 150 hours into Hades 1, and I was like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
And saw that it was completely different, a completely different cast of characters in that trailer. So very cool.
Yeah, which is very exciting.
For sure. So last thing I want to ask you here, if for anybody who is not familiar with Transistor and goes, I'm probably just going to pass on this one, I'm going to go get some dinner or something, what is a moment, a reason they should be tuning in for this, a moment or a specific aspect of this run that you love, that you think is just a great thing for audiences to latch onto?
Okay, it depends on the viewer. For those who are super into the technical glitch side of things, we have a massive, it's a glitch that goes on for about 4 minutes. That we set up and then we change scenes, we change all kinds of things, like we go through loading screens, but the glitch persists through it, which allows us to basically skip, if we were to do it casually, allows us to skip approximately 9 minutes of gameplay and an entire boss fight. There are only 3 boss fights in the game, and we skip one of them. So basically, we skip a whole third of the boss fights. It's going to look unusual, and it's a harder trick to explain than it is to do. So if you're technical-minded, Sinner, one of my commentators, is going to do a phenomenal job explaining it to you. If you're not technical-minded and you just like watching speedruns, I'm going to introduce you to the goodest girl, Luna, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. We'll all have to look out for that one. Kass, it has been wonderful getting to know you and talking with you, and I hope that you have the best of luck on your run coming up later.
Thank you so much, Jhobz. It's been great talking with you.
All right. Let's get back to those speedruns, folks. Please enjoy more AGDQ 2023 online.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AGDQ 2023. That interview has got me so hyped for Transistor, which is just such an amazing game. You know what else has me hyped? Chat, you all have me hyped. You're the most creative, fantastic, wonderful people. This might be the most meta, most amazing, perfect transition donation between a Castlevania block and Fashion Police Squad. $50 from Evil Wraith that says, "What is fashion? Nothing but a miserable pile of sequins." Thank you so much for that. What a fantastic way to go from one block to another. Really appreciate it. Just a quick update on that Challenge 3 level incentive. We're at $4,100 out of $5,000. We only need just under 900 left. So if you're getting those donations in, let's get it. Let's really push Dangerous to the limit with that challenge level. Had some more love coming in. I don't love reading ones like this because they're about me, but, you know, we had $200 from Charo, who says, had to donate while THEKyleThomas is announcing. Such a cool event, made even cooler by having friends working on it. Thank you so much, Charo. I really appreciate you. Also, we had $25 from PX Slip that says less than 3 to hour. I mean, THEKyleThomas. Thank you both. That's very sweet of you. I really appreciate it. I have a blast doing this, and it is an honor to help GDQ and Prevent Cancer Foundation. And with that, if you've got your long hair back and flowing in the wind, you better get it blowing even harder. We're going to take it away with Fashion Police Squad by Dangerous.